Hi everybody. Okay, so I have a tip that instead of buying the big Stampin' Ups craft pads or classic pads, I tried instead, because I'm a little cheap, to do these Stampin' Spots. And what I do is I like the way they store their stuff upside down, so I store these upside down. They actually come, looking all pretty like this, but I turn them upside down, and I also put, I can get one, little labels, like this one says, you see, Old Olive. Anyway, it's got little labels. So I store them upside down, and the reason I do this, and then I got them this way, is that, frankly, I can afford this, but I can't afford to get all of these stamp pads. And I don't have enough room. I mean, I have a corner of a room for my stamp room, so I just don't have room to store all these big guys. So to give them a try, I thought I'd do this. And I'm new to scrapbooking, and I needed to buy lots of stuff, and this is a way of saving a little bit of money. And I find that most of the time, you can see on this one, I stamp the ones I like the best, I stamp in StazOn, and then I color in with these guys, which I did here. I used, which ones did I use? I used the Summer Sun for this part, and I used the Cameo Coral. This is the Earth Tones, I believe, or no, the Earth Elements set, and then I used the green, the Garden Green, and not quite navy, and the Pumpkin Pie for the top. But this is a way to have lots of colors without it being too expensive. I mean, I think this whole thing with all these colors in it was $20. So I thought it would be more cost efficient to do this, and if I really love a color, like, oh my god, I can't live without, the chocolate chip because I use it all the time to do my sentiments or something for cards, or I always stamp with that, then I'll buy it in the big one. But for right now, to give them a try, to find out what colors I love and which ones I use all the time, I'm going to do this because it's cheaper. And it takes up so much less room. So that way I can try out all the colors. I can have all the ones except for the in colors. They don't do the in colors in the Stampin' Spots. But you can get all four, I think it's 4 different lines of colors, and have all the different shades in this size, and then get the big ones and the ones that you use the most, or the ones that you love the most. Because there are advantages to this, and they do the squeeze technique. So I want to show you what I do for that instead. Basically, well, you can do it a couple ways. This, I found, this is, you can see Johnson & Johnson, is a first aid. It had Band-Aids and stuff in it. It was like a car first aid kit that I got at the dollar store for $1. And when all the stuff was used up, I just kept it because I'm a pack rat and I keep everything. So this is good because, one, you can store a couple in here. If you're just if I'm going over to my mom's scrapbook and I know I'm not going to use all my colors, I'm only going to do this one stamp that I'm bringing with me. I can just package this and throw it in my bag. 2, what's cool about this, and I'll use a color that you can see, I'll do ruby red, is I use the lid just like you use these lids, where I take the Stampin' Spot and I just press it on the lid, which you could do it on the side of an acrylic block too. That works too. I've seen people do that too. But this just happens to be with me, so this is what I'm using. And for instance, if I want to color in these hearts, I can do either my blender pen or your aqua painter and just go straight in, and this cleans off in 2 seconds. And I'm just blendering in and adding a little color. And now the little hearts are now red instead of coral. And that's usually what I use. Blender it off. That's usually what I use it for. And then all you have to do Just wipe this off with a paper towel or, you know, just a little water with a baby wipe. And all clean, ready to go for the next one. And you can do that with the acrylic blocks too. So this is just a way to get lots of colors for cheap rather than buying the big sets and having all those things. And see, how cute is that? So anyway, so that's my tip on how to save a little money. And if you're new and you don't know if you're going to need all those things, this is a way to gauge. And you know, if you use them all and you use them a lot, then yeah, you know, okay, I can splurge and buy like a set of stamps. But for right now, for me, I think it's a good idea to just use this, and I'll get the big ones when I need them. Like this Whisperite, I got the Whisperite Craft ink to do the side of like cardstock, craft cardstock, and stuff like that. So that's just my idea. And you can also use, you know, the sponges just like you would everything else, and it's same difference. They're the exact same thing, except that the pad on them is a linen pad instead of the foam pad. So it does have a little bit harder texture, but if you're just using it to color in or to do like small stamps or whatever, I haven't had a problem with them yet, and I've had them for a little bit. So that's just my idea, and I do like to store them upside down because then it keeps all the ink, and I do that with all my inks. I try to keep them upside down most of the time. So, and these are basically like the same size as, you know, the cat's eye ones from, you know, these types of inks, or like the Momento little guys. I mean, they're basically the same size, so it's not like that big of a deal. A lot of people use these little guys for regular stamping. So, I mean, if you think about it that way, they're not that small. And, you know, you get more bang for your buck, I guess, is my thing about it. So, alright, that's my 2 cents on Stampin' Up spots. And, hope you enjoyed my tip. Thanks. Bye-bye.